Hello, I'm Hera, and today we'll be exploring one of the most critical moments in modern history, the end of World War II. The information of a new world geopolitical order and the emergence of two global superpowers that would shape international relations for decades, the United States and the Soviet Union. Let's begin by recalling the key events that led to the end of the war. The conflict in Europe officially ended on May 8, 1945, also known as VE Day or Victory in Europe Day. This came after the Allies successfully landed in Normandy on D-Day, June 6, 1944, making the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The Normandy invasion, famously called D-Day, was the largest sea-borne invasion in history, and it allowed Allied forces to push back German troops from Western Europe. Less than a year later, Nazi Germany collapsed, and Berlin fell to the Soviet forces on May 2nd, 1945, with the unconditional surrender of Germany following just a few days later. But World War II wasn't over in the Pacific. The United States continued its fight against Imperial Japan after relentlessly bombing campaigns, including the dropping of two atomic bombs on Hiroshima August 6 and Nagasaki August 9th. Japan finally surrendered on August 15th, 1945, ending the war completely. The United States emerged from the war as a superpower, thanks to its military and industrial might. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union, having borne the brunt of the fighting against Nazi Germany on the Eastern Front, also rose to a global promise when the war was over. These two nations would soon face each other in a new kind of conflict. Now we can see here some of the U.S. Soviet generals making a peace treaty. We can see here some pictures of D-Day. You can see here all of the geopolitical leaders as maybe there's Stalin, joined by the British Prime Minister and the U.S. President. And these are some pictures of war-torn Europe. And this is a geopolitical map of the United States and the Soviet Union. The end of World War II didn't just mark the defeat of the Axis powers, it marked birth to a new geopolitical era defined by bipolarity. The world's power centers were now split between the capitalist West, led by the United States, and the communist East, led by the Soviet Union. This division would form the basis of international relations for the next 4 decades. This ideological rivalry, known as the Cold War, led to the formation of military and economic alliances. The United States, along with the Western Europe, formed NATO in 1949, while the Soviet Union responded with the Warsaw Pact in 1955. Tensions between the two superpowers shaped not only the politics of Europe, but influenced global affairs for years to come, resulting in proxy wars, nuclear arm races, and intense diplomatic standoffs. Now, imagine the Berlin Wall being constructed at the end, being constructed and then falling, symbolizing the Cold War's conclusion. Now, through the Cold War came through the Cold War came to an end in 1991. Its roots are deeply intertwined with the events that followed the end of World War II. The decisions made at the war's end shaped the economic, political, and social fabric of nations for decades. The world order we live in today is still largely a result of these momentous years. Now we have here a picture of the Berlin Wall being constructed. We have in here a geopolitical map of what were the United States and its allies, with the Soviet Union and its allies marked in red. And we can see here a difference between East and West Germany. We have also here some geopolitical maps. Now, as we reflect on the aftermath of World War II, it's clear that the conflict didn't just reshape borders, it fundamentally redefined global politics and economics. The emergence of two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, brought about a battle of ideologies that has left a lasting legacy in world affairs. In my opinion, While the bipolar world of the Cold War brought immense tension, it also drove technological progress and efforts towards peacekeeping. However, the division between capitalism and socialism highlighted stark contrasts in governments, economies, and individual freedoms. Ultimately, this division led to the fall of many socialist regimes, but the debate over which system benefits people more continues today. Now, let's briefly explore how these two regimes, socialism and capitalism, shaped Europe and regions across the world after the World War. So, I'm going to tell you the countries that adopted socialism. So, first was the Soviet Union. It was the most prominent socialist state leading the Eastern Bloc. Eastern Europe, which included countries like East Germany, Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Romania, and Bulgaria. Also, China, Cuba, which Fidel Castro's revolution brought socialism to the island. North Korea, after the division of Korea, they adapted this system. And Vietnam, after the French withdrawal, Vietnam became a socialist republic, following decades of conflict. And now the countries that were under a capitalist regime, it was United States, which was a leading proponent of capitalist democracy, influencing much of Eastern Europe after the war. Then also Western Europe, countries like France, West Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom embraced capitalist system. Japan also adopted a capitalist economy with American influence. South Korea also developed into a capitalist country, and Australia aligned with the Western capitalism, maintaining a market-driven technology. Now, the capitalism is an economic system where private ownership or production, free markets, and competition drive innovation, growth, and wealth distribution. In capitalism, supply and demand dictate pricing, and individuals are free to purchase profit through enterprise. The benefits of capitalism are economic growth, personal freedom, and consumer choice. But the drawbacks are economic inequality, environmental impact, and market instability. Now, in the end, both socialism and capitalism have their strengths and weaknesses. While capitalism has provided many with the chance to succeed and innovate, socialism has sought to address the inequality and provide social security. The Cold War may have ended, but the dialogue around these ideologies continues to shape political and economic policies worldwide. Thank you very much for joining me in this exploration of the post-Cold War of the post-World War II order, and I hope it's giving you a broader understanding on how history, ideologies, and economies intertwine to shape our world.